Okay, so hello everyone. I'm really happy to be here and I hope you enjoy our presentation. So my name is Matthias Gunther and I'm here in my function as lead of automation and development at Union, and today I would like to talk with you about the reporting. So let's have a look on the agenda. At the beginning I would like to introduce our company in a short way. Then we will have a look about our tools and the automation process, and moving on to the test reporting and its complexity. And finally, I will introduce our library. So, Union Investment is one of the biggest players along fund management. So, our mission is to grow our investment wealth. Or in other words, we're making more money with your money for you. So just invest. Yeah. We're structured in 3 segments. There is a segment dealing with the private and institutional customers, and a segment managing the fund services, and the last one about the portfolio management. Just to give you a few values about our responsibility, so we're managing more than 430 billion euros. Yeah, and we are also a regulated company, so there are many restrictions we need to follow, and that's why automation is a must. So what are our test objects? Yeah, along these 3 segments, there are many things to test. We're using, of course, open source libraries, and thanks for that. Browser library is the one of our choice. We're testing all the pages we have, and we're talking about 120 different pages. We also have many forms we need to check, so we're entering data, submit them, and looking into the database if everything came on, and we're also checking the responses. So their browser library is our choice too. The most methods we're able also to trigger using request. So request library, we heard yesterday about it, is in use there. And of course, we have mainframe 30 to 70 where we're able to connect to the host system. There we are able to see the contract data of our customers, to modify them, and we can also run some methods on the system and check the results. Last but not least, we're buying external tools, we're getting updates and need to be sure they're working as before, and so therefore we're using libraries like Pywin Auto or whatever. Not only the open source library are in use, of course we need to implement ourselves. And we're using all the possibilities Robot Framework offers, like pre-run modifiers, listeners, result visitors, or even the custom developed libraries. So we're working at the moment with Robot Framework C11 and Python 3.11, and of course we're planning to upgrade to 7.0 in the next days. You need to know that our test management system is Jira. So in Jira, you find all the test descriptions, test definitions, and we need to report to Jira. In Git, you can find the libraries we develop, the keywords, resource files, test cases, and most of the executions are running in a container, so we need a registry therefore, and this is Harbor. Jenkins is our orchestrator, so everything starts in Jenkins. There you're able to choose some parameters and run the test manually or even time-triggered or event-triggered. So how does it look like? As I said, Jenkins is the starting point. In the Jenkins pipeline, which are managed in Git repository, we define at the beginning if the execution shall be executed on a container or a virtual machine. As I said, container is the priority 1. Afterwards, we're checking out our repositories, and using a pre-run modifier, we're looking which test cases are relevant for our run. So using the parameters from Jenkins or even environment variables, we're creating a query, looking for the test, and then with the same pre-run modifier, we're looking which test cases in robot files are relevant. So starting them sequentially or even in parallel using parbot, robot. However, we're waiting after the execution is done and reporting everything to Jira. Yeah, so for everyone, for every test case, we're creating a test run in Jira, and we need to upload the created files there. So let's have a look on an example. So this is a quite simple test. We are opening here a browser, going to our URL, and looking for a font named here Uni Global. And if you have a look on the tags, we're using once the connection to Jira, like Jira key and the key of the test. And we have another tag called report, and this is the connection to the new report I want to introduce here. So let's get running it. As you see, we're starting the browser, opening our page, need to accept the cookies. So there are many steps we need to do within the test. We're opening another page, entering the font name, and after we find it, we open it and see the data of it, like the picture and the name and some identification numbers. Let's have a look into the report. As you all know, the robot framework standard report is a great thing. You have all the steps, you have all variables, you have all keywords, sub-keywords, and messages inside. But as good as it is, as complicated it is. So for guys, you need to know we are split into different departments where I'm working at the development of libraries and keywords, and other departments are developing their test cases, and the third one is responsible for the releases. Yeah, so the third one does not know anything about robot. Yeah, so they are somehow overloaded with information of the report, and so they didn't want to accept it. So we decided to have a look on every test group, what is going on there, and what kind of keywords we need to report to the releases. So we sat down with the testers, had a look, and defined in this example that the picture, the screenshot of the font would be nice to have, and the name and maybe the identifications we checked. So the first implementation was like, we take the keyword names, put them into a configuration, which is a YAML file, and based on this YAML file, we're creating a new report, an additional report with the filtered content. And this looked like this. Yeah, we removed all the suites above the robot file. We removed off all the keyword structures and put only the found messages within the predefined keyword names. Here you can see how many test cases we already have. So we're talking about more or less 4,000 tests and in between more than 70,000 runs. And if you take a look on the time stamps, in the last year we could increase enormously the number of executions. So the acceptance of the reporting is now there. So as I said, we started with the keywords. So the reporting was based on the keyword names. Yeah, so you define just the names, and all messages of the keywords, all messages of the sub-keywords will be taken over to the new one. And then we recognize you need to define a lot. So we started to filter looking into the content of a message. So if you define a text or a regular expression, so we've taken all the messages where we have any foundings. Using them, we saw, okay, there are too many messages. So maybe we found 12 of them and we need only 10. So we decided to have the option ignore messages, where you can remove the already found parts. As next requirement, we've got the wish to have some more flow into the report, so to be able to show what's going on there, and the colleagues wanted to see the keyword names or some of the keyword names. So you're able to enter names of keywords, and they will be plotted into the new report and marked blue, so you know they are not the standard messages, they're coming as keyword in the base. And last but not least, you're also able to create a new structure of a report. So just imagine you have messages which are quite long, and you want to have them in the final report, but you want to be able to close them to get more overview of your report. And so keyword structure means we're taking the keywords wherever they are in the base report, and then we're putting them on the first level of our test case. Let's have a look on the examples. Yeah? So when we're talking about the keywords, I said you put them. Another way could be we're adding the names as information. They are listed here in blue. Another way could be to put them as structures. You see we have the keywords once again with all the timestamps, and you can close them. Using the message option, we can see much more output, maybe output which is too much, and you can define the ignored messages once again. They will be removed, and now you have maybe your report you want to get. How does it work? Probably you all know the standard result visitor. With the result visitor, we're able to modify the data at any time. So it starts suit, it start test, start keyword, start message, and once back, end message, end keyword, and test and suit. And that's the key how we implemented it. In the start keyword method, there you can see we're looking if the keyword where we are is relevant as structure. There we're looking if it's relevant as information, and there we're looking also if all the messages of the keyword shall be taken into the new report. We're saving them in a list and going over to the next function, which is start message. There we're checking the content, if the content is relevant for our new report. If yes, we're putting them into a list. At the end of the test, we're removing everything from the test, so test.body.clear, and we're appending the new content, which could be some keywords and their messages, or even messages only. And the last step is that at the end of the suit, we need to remove the whole suit and append the new test cases. Quite simple. Once again, just to recap, so at the test case, you need to define your configuration of the report. And that's working with a test tag. You can define the test tag at the test case, at the test suite for the whole suite, however you want. Then you need, of course, to create the configuration, and the configuration is somewhere in the test folder directory. So it doesn't matter in which subdirectory, but it must be in the test directory. And last but not least, somehow you need to activate the functionality. So there we have several possibilities. One of them is a listener, so you just need to add a listener call into your Python call, and the new report will be created. Or if you already have some listeners where you're dealing with your output data, you can just call the function to create the new one based on the output XML file and giving the output directory, and it should be created too. The project is a published project, so just go to the Market Square. On the Market Square, you should be able to find robot framework minus ReportModifier repository, and there are some examples. There is a documentation. Feel free to use it. Feel free to open issues if you have some wishes, new functionalities you want to get, or just contact me via Slack, and I hope we can help you with your reporting for your release manager. And yeah, thanks a lot for joining the presentation. I hope you enjoy it. Any questions?
Yes. We all need exercise. Thank you.
I was too fast.
Yeah, you were quicker than I thought.
Okay.
But we have
sorry
plenty
for
of
that.
time. No worries, this is good. You need exercise. So we have plenty of time for questions now. Any questions? You have to have questions. Otherwise, we go for a jog.
Yeah, even though I like jogging, let's ask questions. So, it looks really cool, and I like what it did. It simplified the report for the business users. So, I'm intrigued to ask, what are you doing next for the business users? What's their next demand?
That's a good question. Currently, we're trying to add all information we need for the release into one report. So we're trying to embed every additional files, every screenshots, every table format, and so on into one file, so that at the end you have only one report and not different linkages which you're not able to send someone because the structures are not working or whatever. So these are the next steps.
More questions?
How did you get the management sponsorship for investing that much effort into making the life of your testers easier?
I'm not sure if I understand what you mean, but actually we're talking with our users. Yeah, we're going to the users. We're talking with them what they need. We need to have a conversation, and we need to hear what they wanna. Yeah. And that's the key. Yeah. If you offer something they need, they will accept what you do.
But I mean, how does your office at all exist in your organization? Because you're doing beautiful like you're paving the way for new testers.
No, we're just a department who is responsibility, who is doing such services.
All right, more questions there in the middle. Two questions.
Hello, I'm just curious about your workflow. So say a new business case comes up and I need a new filter, a new view of the report. The options that you showed, can I put them in as the business person, or do I need to request a new view from you?
I would say just write an issue, and if I see that it's also good for our company, I will implement it during my working time. If not, maybe in the afternoon. So, but feel free to implement it yourself if you want. It's an open source project now. Create a pull request, and I will have a look over that.
More questions there?
Matthias, hi. I know you used the log HTML kind of as it is. So you manipulate the result model and then just generate it. Once the output JSON is out there, have you thought about making a real kind of custom web page with this information from an output JSON or so?
It's a good point. We'll see. I don't know, to be honest.
Which raises against the question of financing. Do you think that these consumers of their report are willing to invest in these kind of comfort zone?
At the end, we need to have some advantages of the new implementations. Yeah, there need to be to a target we want to aim, and if there is no additional functionalities, or if there's no change and the guys can't see any improvements, then to be honest, we have only one time, and so we have only 8 hours a day to develop something, and just to change something, only to have a change. I don't know if this is what we need to do. Yeah. Of course, we want to stay with the complexity, with the new functionalities. So JSON is a really good format, easy to read, easy to use. Maybe at the moment we're in a process where we're trying to centralize the whole automation, and probably we will need to change some workflows. We need to offer new formats. So JSON could be the format, but at the moment, yeah, there are no decisions.
More questions? All right. You'll be at the speakers corner on the coffee break, so you can continue the discussions then. There's the nice hoodie for you.
Thanks a lot.
Give a warm. Thank you.